Hello friends, welcome to Global Online. Today we are discussing NTA UGC NET 2023 Paper 2 Economics. In this class, we discuss about statistical analysis and we discuss a particular topic from statistical analysis, that is distribution. And we practice with PYQs and it will help you to get point about distribution and the concept related with distribution. Okay, today we discussing important two distribution, binomial and Bernoulli. Let's start with the first question. A Bernoulli distribution or Bernoulli trial has at least two outcomes or at most two outcomes or two outcomes or fewer than two outcomes. So in Bernoulli trial, what was the outcomes? It can less or it can more or it is fixed with two outcomes. Let's see what is the answer. That is two outcomes. One is success and the other is failure. So in Bernoulli trial, there are two outcomes, that is success and failure, in which the probability of success is the same every time. Okay, the experiment is conducted, the probability of success is fixed or same every time. And then next question, two mutually exclusive outcomes in a Bernoulli trial or Bernoulli experiment. What is the two mutually exclusive outcomes in Bernoulli trial? That's success and failure. Okay, answer is success and failure, only two outcomes. Okay, then next question, nature of binomial random variable x. So the binomial random variable, whether it is quantitative or qualitative or discrete or continuous. Here the binomial says about discrete distribution or the discrete data. The data is fixed here because one of the example, that is the probability of getting a success must remain the same for all the trial. Okay, all the trial. So here one of the example, that is tossing a coin. Tossing a coin, the probability of flipping a coin is half, 0.5. That is fixed there. It can be success or trial, that is head or tail. We can calculate the success as the coin flipping as a head, and every trial we conduct, since there are only two possible outcomes, so the binomial random variable is discrete or it is fixed. Okay, then before moving to the next question, let's see what Global Online offering for you. We provide complete syllabus video lectures, notes, mock tests and last 10 years of PYQs, and that will help you to get every point about the exam and also get the related explanations also. So first of all, you get it from our app in the Play Store, and after enrolling the required course, you can get all the features in the app. Okay, and any queries related to this, please contact with the given WhatsApp number and get paper 1 complete course free with paper 2. Okay, next question related to the binomial probability distribution. The sum of the probability of success and probability of failure. So here the success and failure is the two outcomes and the sum of the probabilities is equal to 1, because the coin tossing, then example coin tossing, when the head falls, that is a 0.5 chance, and the tail, that is a failure, that is 0.5. So 0.5 is the one of the trial or one of the result, success or failure. So the both the success and failure we get 1. The sum of the probability of success and failure is 1. Okay, then in binomial experiment, the successive trials are whether it is dependent, independent, mutually exclusive or fixed. In binomial experiment, the successive trials, we can think about the successive trials. We can confuse it that it can be fixed or it can be an independent. That the difference between the independent and fixed, we will confuse. But in binomial experiment, the successive trials are independent, or one of the trial does not depend or influence the next trial. Okay, so the trials are independent, especially the trials, successive trials are independent. Okay, then next question related with the parameters of binomial distribution. Here the parameters means the events or the outcomes that we get or what we calculate in binomial distribution. So the given NP, PQ, NP and NQ, NP and NPQ. And the answer is N and P. The parameters are N and P. We know P is the success and when 1 minus P is the failure. Okay. So N and P is the parameters in binomial distribution. Next, the range of binomial distribution. In binomial distribution, the parameters are N and P. That is a discrete probability distribution. Okay. So the number of success in a sequence of N independent experiment, such as asking question, yes or no question, and the success and failure is the two cases when we ask yes or no question and also the success and failure. These are the both cases in binomial distribution. And the range here, the range is means what? Or it can be 0 to n or 0 to infinity, minus 1 to plus 1 or 0 to 1. And the answer is 0 to n. We can make trials an n number of times. So from 0 to n, the binomial distribution range depends on 0 to n. Okay, it can be infinity, but the n is a particular value here. Okay, so as low as 0 if all the trials ends up in a failure, or as high as n if all n trials end in success. So whenever the n trials ends in failure, that means it can lower than 0, or it can all are success, that means it is high as n. Okay. And the next question related to the mean and standard deviation of binomial distribution. Here, what is the mean and how we calculate the mean and standard deviation of binomial probability distribution? And the options given NP and NPQ, NP and root of NPQ, NP and NQ and N and P. We know NP, N and P are the parameters in the binomial distribution. And what about the mean and standard deviation? And here the mean is NP and the standard deviation is root of NPQ. So so we want to calculate the mean and standard deviation. We can get NP and root of NPQ. When the standard deviation is low or it's lower means the data are clustered around the mean. And when the standard deviation is high, that means it can spread around the or it can spread all around the mean. Okay, all around the area. So the standard deviation will give the clear idea about the data or the clustering of data. So we want to get the standard deviation. Root of NPQ is the formula. And the standard deviation close to 0 indicates that data points are close to the mean. So whenever the standard deviation, that is SD, that is equal to 0, and it means the data points are close to the mean. Okay. And whereas high or low standard deviation indicates that data points are respectively above or below the mean. So when SD is high, that means the data is above the mean. And when SD is low, that means the data is below the mean. Clear? And the next question, binomial experiment with three trials can get how many variables, or that can take how much variables? 2 values, 3 values, 4 values, or 5 values? And the answer is 4 values. So with a 3 trials in binomial experiment, that can take 4 values for the variable. Okay. Next, the shape of the binomial probability distribution depends on mean, variance, parameters, or quartiles. Earlier question we discussed that the mean and variance is related about the one of the case. But here the shape of the binomial probability distribution depends on the parameters, that is the N and P. Okay. Here NP is not N and P. So N and P will depends the shape of the binomial distribution. Okay. Next one, the binomial distribution, the numbers of trials, or the numbers of trials, it may be very large or it may be very small, or it is fixed or it's not fixed. So the binomial distribution, the number of trials will fix it. That is, we discussed that is a discrete probability distribution. So the numbers of trials are fixed. Okay. Next question. The relationship between the mean and variance in binomial distribution. So here the mean and variance, whether it is the mean less than variance, or mean equal to variance, or mean greater than variance, or it's difficult to tell. So in earlier question we discussed the mean and standard deviation, and the variance is also as part of standard deviation. So here the answer is mean greater than variance. So in binomial probability distribution, the relationship between the mean and variance is mean greater than variance. Okay, so the mean is above the variance. And the next question, binomial distribution when n equals 1. N equals 1, then it becomes what type of distribution? In binomial distribution, one of the parameter is n, or it is the trial, number of trials. So when number of trials equals 1, whether it indicate hypergeometric distribution, or normal distribution, or uniform distribution, or Bernoulli distribution. And the answer is in binomial distribution when n equal to 1 is Bernoulli distribution. So the shape, in earlier question we say about the shape of the binomial distribution depends on the parameters. Okay. Or in this, the symmetrical or skewed. When the P is the success. When P that is equal to 0.5, it indicates that is a binomial distribution will symmetrical. Here the symmetrical shape. And then whether it is large or small, however the value not equal 0.5, that's all. So the distribution will be skewed. Okay. So the P equal to 0.5, that is a symmetrical shape, and then the P is not equal to, that is not equal to here, not equal to 0.5. It can be less or more than 0.5. That is called skewed distribution or skewed shape. Okay. Then next question. The mean of a binomial distribution depends on, or the mean depends on what the character of a binomial distribution, whether the number of trial that is equal to the n, or the probability of success that is equal to p, and or the probability of failure, that is equal to 1 minus p. Then the number of trials and probability of success, that is n and p. Okay, that is both parameters. So this is also the mean here. NP is a mean. Okay, and the answer is number of trials and probability of success. Both the number of trials and probability of success will make the binomial distribution mean. Okay, then the variance of a binomial distribution. Here the variance is depends on what? It mean depends on number of trials and probability of success, and the variance depends on all of the above. The number of trial, that is n, and also the probability of success, that is p, and the probability of failure, that is 1 minus p. So all the cases, all the factors will depends on the variance of a binomial distribution. And the next question that's for you, which of the following is not property of a binomial experiment? This question will give you all the property of binomial experiment, and also you can get an idea about what the binomial and Bernoulli distribution. So take this as challenge to answer the question and give the right answer for the question in the comment box. And any queries related to this question, please ask in the comment box. Okay, so we will wind up this session. Thank you. Have a nice day.